CEO of Applied AI Consulting, and Amit Mahato, software engineer, Applied AI Consulting. Over to you, Vijay.
Thanks, Vijay. And thanks everyone for joining in. We are going to talk about, as you just said, we are going to talk about unlocking the power of document extraction with AI. So I'm Vijay, and with me I have Amit. We have been working on this for quite some time together. We are going to talk for next 26 more minutes. This was a 30-minute call. 3 minutes we waited for people. So, without any ado, we'll get started. So, the agenda for today would be, primarily understanding why document extraction. Why are we talking about it today? OCR has been there for, years, and then we are suddenly talking about document extraction again. So, I'll be setting the context. We'll talk about how AI-powered document extraction is useful for different industries and domains. And that way I'll take around 5 to 7 minutes covering point 1 and 2, and then we'll move to Amit, where he will talk about different document extraction tools across hyperscalers and open source. He'll share his experiences, he will share his recommendation. So those who are on the edge figuring out what to use, when to use, hang around for next 20 minutes, and then you will hear from Amit talking about that. And then he'll also run us through a live demo, which he implemented for a customer. And then at the end, I have some free surprises for people who are there till the end. So let's wait till then. Well, so as I said, this is not going to be a theoretical session. We are not going to talk about, how to work with different tools, what is an OCR and all that. We'll just jump on to, AI-driven document extraction, how it works across different industries, and we'll get into the real meat of it. So how big is the problem? What are we talking about? And we all have taken tests early in our life where we have, and still today, where we had to circle certain dots, and then it was OCR, right? Optical character recognition, to get the marks, right? All those MCQs. So why are we talking now? So we all have been filing, insurance claims, and I hope most of us, for one good or bad reasons, be it for your vehicle, be it for medical, be it for anything else, and then we share, tons of document when we file the insurance claims, right? We sometimes have to give our KYCs, which can be driver license, which can be Aadhaar card, or which can be, the social numbers and other thing in different countries. Then it would be some medical bills, some invoices, doctor's prescription, doctor's note, and whatnot. So what we're talking about it, a lot of structured data, a lot of unstructured data, images that is being used by a ton of back office team in a claim processing industry to process your claim and then give a reward to you on the status. And then generally it takes from days to weeks, depending upon the context, what we're talking about, whom we are talking to. And that's a big problem. Still in 2024, we are talking about. So, globally, businesses create and store over 2.5 quintillions byte of data. I don't know how many zeros there in quintillions, but it sounds much bigger than trillions, right? Or, that. So I'm sure we're talking about petabytes and petabytes of data being generated globally today and stored, and with 60% of it being unstructured data. That's the volume of problem we're talking about. And some of them are going through traditional OCR. A lot of them are going through manual back office work of document extraction. Another fun fact, the average cost of handling one document manually is estimated around $25 per document, and huge. So, if assuming you are processing 1 million document yearly, and which is very less when we are talking about, a big claim processing industry, a big document heavy industry, you are spending close to 20 million of dollars just processing document, and then again taking action on them, and then other stuff is another piece of cake. So we are talking about basically tons of unstructured text data, images, structured data, scanned documents getting processed by army or back office team. They are multi-stage manual data extraction and reporting, being supervised manually, feedback, and then that cycle is for days before you get the final consumable output. It can be a report, it can be an actionable data. It's a days to weeks of extensive manual effort. Now, how does AI powered document extraction help? And that's the topic for today. With that volume of problem that we are talking about, still the adoption is just 13% across all the back offices. So there's still room for a lot of us who are on the fence to get into this. A recent case study we were working with, where a claim processing firm saved 30% of its document processing cost through automation, leading to annual saving of $3 million. That's just the tip of the iceberg. So some fun facts here. AI solutions can reduce the cost per document to $5, which is close to 80% of saving, from $25 to $5 we are talking about. That's a huge saving that we are talking about. Another fun fact, AI powered extraction can give a 95 to 99% accuracy. And this is so critical because with the enormous volume of document we are talking about and the kind of document we are talking about, images, and scanned documents, some handwritten notes, all that. There is a challenge with legibility, there is a challenge with readability, and it's all human error that creeps in. And this AI powered extraction can give you 95 to 90% accuracy, which is dramatically great because it, again, at the end of the day, saves time, money, and resources. So what we're talking about is primarily, all this unstructured text data or images that documents we talked about, all running through AI powered intelligent document processing. 95% is giving the accuracy at the minimum, 5% human review. We are getting the reports in one report every 5 minutes or less than that, compared to days and weeks of effort that we're talking about. So just let's recap what we talked about. Why document extraction with AI today? Because this is so relevant for us to understand, so that we get into further discussion on different tools and demos. The challenge is very clear. Businesses struggle with unstructured document. Manual extraction is slow and error prone. The AI-powered extraction can automate the entire process with high accuracy. It transforms raw data into actionable insights. Now, how it is relevant to different industries, and it can. I've just captured 5 industry and domain out here, but it's applicable to every organization, domain, industry which is document heavy. And we talked about just one example of claim processing and $1 million saving. Amit is going to talk about on the real estate investment analysis using different documents. But net, if you look at every domain, every industry, every organization is going to get values in terms of cost reduction, better customer experience, improved patient care, time saving, decision making, accuracy, and whatnot. So this is something gets the ball rolling into now further discussion on, if this is so important, how can we do it? And Amit, over to you from here.
Yeah, thank you, Vijay. So hello, everyone. I will be diving into the technical aspect of our journey, and we'll explore different OCR tools, and I'll give an overview of our agentic framework of investment report with live demo at the end. So here in the right, you can see this is a bank statement document. So this statement belongs to one of our customer. This is a bank statement document of an investment domain. Now the question comes is, so there can be a different documents, not just only a bank statement documents. There can be a document related to legal or financial or any different domain. But the problem comes like when we have to consume this data. So now suppose there is a use case here. This is a PDF of a bank statement. Now I want to generate monthly report where I want to check all my credits and debits amount. I want to calculate all the data of my monthly transactions that have been happening. For that, I need to first extract those data. For if you go to the traditional method, then manually I will have to insert this data in the Excel Excel sheet. So, and at the end, I will have to calculate the amount and all. But that is very tedious work. So in order to reduce the effort, I have gone through different hyperscalers and open source OCR tools, which can reduce our human efforts. So here is the list of you, and we'll talk about one of each of them in coming slides. Now, first, let's talk about AWS Tech Stack. So this is the bank statement document. Now, when I provided this PDF file to AWS Tech Stack, it provided me this result. So this is on the right, you can see this image is of a raw text document provided by AWS Tech Stack. It provided with 97% of accuracy. Here you can see the accuracy rate. So all the special characters data is removed from here. It is providing almost accurate data, and we have used AWS Tech Stack, and there were no data loss that as per now that we have processed the document. So AWS Tech Stack have pre-built in models for standardized documents formats, and it supports both PDF and images data. In our case, I have getting the data with the raw text format, but there are different formats in which AWS Tech Stack can provide the data in maybe key value pair, in tabular format, in form format, in whichever format you want to consume the data. It also has the support of 65 plus different languages. So suppose if in your document you have a different language like Chinese or Japanese, then it can extract those data also. It has a deep integration with AWS ecosystem. Now let's talk about Azure's document intelligence. So this is OCR tool of Azure. When I provided the same bank statement data to Azure's document intelligence, then this is the output which I got. This is on the right side, you can again see an image of raw text file. And with the document intelligence of Azure, I got the accuracy of around 94 to 96%. And it has a great language support. It supports almost 164 plus different languages. The good thing about document intelligence is that it has different custom models present. Like for bank statement, it has bank statement particular model, which we can train and test as per our need and with our own data. But today we are not going to get deep into the training and testing part. We'll just have the overview of all the OCR tools. Azure Document Intelligence has also support for both PDF and images for data extraction, and it has REST APIs also present. It's greatly integrated with Azure's ecosystem. Now next comes Google's Document AI. So Google, when I provided the same data to Google's Document AI, this is the output which I got, and the accuracy was around 96 to 98%. Google's Document AI has also support of creating, training and testing custom models with our own data. It also supports both PDFs and images formats. It is integrated with Google's cloud. It has a great support of 200 plus different languages, and it also has API present, which we can integrate in our applications. Now, apart from these cloud-based services, I have gone through few open source libraries. So one of the best open source library which provided me the good result was PyTestDac. When I inserted this data to PyTestDac, this is the output which I received. The accuracy was 85 to 90%. The problem here is that it doesn't support PDF documents. So in order to ingest the data first, the PDF documents need to be converted into the image format. and then the image files will be able to get processed. It's an open source, and here you can see the reason behind less accuracy. So here, if you look at this particular data statement, here it's coming CEP, but here on the right, you can left, here you can see it's CCD. Also, some of the new like special characters have been inserted, like here you can see equal sign, which is not present on our left side of the data. So there is a bit issues with PyTestRack, and it doesn't support handwritten text data extraction. Now here comes the point, like which OCR tools should I pick, which will be the suitable for me. The OCR tools should depend upon the use case. So in our case, the use case was I had to build the solution in 1 or 2 days of time with a good amount of accuracy. And in my case, there was not government or compliance issues related. So I had gone with AWS Tech Stack because here, since it doesn't have options for training and testing the models, the pre-built models is trained enough to extract the data from all types of documents with an accuracy of 97%. And its API can be integrated in 1 or 2 days. So it was the best suitable OCR tool for me for that time. So I gone with AWS Tech Stack. But if you have the time of training and testing the data, and you want to get support of multiple languages, and you have large amount of data that you can do training and testing, then obviously Azure and Google's OCR tool will be the best option. But if you have sensitive informations in your document and you don't want to upload this document in the cloud, and you don't want any cloud-based OCR tools to extract those documents, you are very sensitive about your documents and you want to build on-premises service, then obviously PyTestRack is the best option. Though it has 85 to 90% accuracy, but the accuracy can be increased. We can build a model which we can train the images on that model to reduce the noise and to get a better accuracy. Yeah, and for obviously for training and building, it will take time, and for deploying that model, we will obviously need a cloud-based integration. Now, for the demo purpose, let's go through the use case which we had. So this is the different documents of investment property you are seeing. So first one, we already saw its bank statement data. Then there is a tenant data, then mortgage and check register, different types of data present there were. So traditionally, what client was doing, he had to basically summarize those data in the final report for each different property, and he had to create a report every month. So it was a very tedious work, because inserting this amount of data in an Excel sheet and then verifying those data, calculate the amount, like if it's entered correctly or not. And at the end, suppose if you get the wrong data while doing the calculation, then again you have to go through from initial. So it was very tedious work and manual effort were going there. So in order to reduce the human-based effort and to process more accurate result, we tried to introduce a agentic framework in between. So this is how our agentic framework works. So it uses AWS Tech Stack and our custom module. So we have placed this in between the document ingestion and the final consumable report. So our agentic framework is basically customizable, and it can be integrated with UI-based portal or email-based services based upon the requirements. So in our case, the data were getting ingested via email. So we use the email-based service for ingesting of data into the agentic framework. So here there are 5 different input data documents that we had for the investment property. And the agentic framework at the end was giving the final report. Now let's see a live demo that how this thing is working. So as I talked about email, so this is a particular email ID that we had integrated in our agentic framework. So this email ID is responsible for getting the 5 different documents via email. And when it gets the email, this particular email-based service, it triggers our agentic framework to do the further processing work and to generate the final report. Now let's see how complex the documents work. So if you look at the bank statement data, here you can see different statements for both credit and debit based statements. Here you can see the previous balance and the balance summary basically. So it has 5 different pages. So this data is input data is basically for one particular property. There is multiple properties present there. And if you look at the tenant data, then here you can see the amount of data present here. So this had earlier, it used to be get inserted manually for each different row. This is a payment summary data. I'm just fastly going through all the documents, and this is the mortgage data. Here you can see the amount of principal amount, tax, and everything is present here. Now the user wanted a consolidated report at the end. So it usually takes 5 minutes when I send this email to generate the final report. So since I already had this report generated, so this is the final output that our agentic system sends via email. It has the final report present with the input files that we have inserted. So if we look at the final report, so this was the template that the client has provided to us. So, and in using this template, we have created the final report. And all this report formatting and everything is done by our agentic framework of investment report. So if you want, you can see there are data present here, summary, all the consolidated data present here. And if you have to manually verify the data, then let's verify a few of the data here. So here in the bank statement, you can see this is a bank summary data. And here this statement data, it's coming from directly from bank statement document. And this download section is coming from all the calculations that we are doing over here. So you can match this data. It's almost like it's accurate. For previous balance, it's $81,661.28. For ending balance, you can verify the data. For transactions here, if you go through the transactions, then here is the first amount. You can see $52 amount for NES. And if you go to the NES, then here you can see $52. Even all this categorization, everything is done in our agentic framework. If you verify for the tenant register, then if I go to this tenant summary part, then here you can see the total amount. It's 108,352. And if you look at this final amount, so it's same. And now if you want to randomly test any of the row, then if the bridal, it's 8,000. Now let's check for the bridal data. Here is the bridal data. So this data is accurate. And if you want to check more than for JBO insurance, let's see. So this is the data which we are capturing here. So this is basically how we are generating the report. So this is only for a particular property. It can be done for different types of property without any change of code. And from this process, we have reduced. Earlier, the client used to take around 1 to 2 weeks for generating final Excel report. Now it's been reduced to only 5 minutes for each property with an accuracy of 99.7%. So yeah, I'll pause here. Over to you, Vijay.
Awesome. Thanks, Amit. Very helpful, and we could see, the things in action what we talked about. So, and we are very close to our, allocated time. So, Thanks everyone again for very patient listening. This is the next step. Anyone interested in understanding more about document extraction, the challenges, you can, I have my coordinates in the next slide. You can book a 30-minute call. If you have a proof of concept to be, in your mind, you want to see the power of AI firsthand, we are offering it free for first 50 documents of yours, or we can help you to your customer roadmap, whatever works. So yeah, next slide, I have my coordinates. If we can move to the next, yeah. So thanks again. Let's